The Missisquoi Valley Rail Trail is a 26.1 mile long trail which runs from St. Albans to Richford, Vermont.
For the first section, the trail runs from St. Albans by the Messenger Building, 105 Route 7, and it goes out to Sheldon Junction to the bridge, which is about 9¼ miles. A couple of the highlights of this section are, first of all, you go past some real nice Franklin County farmland, a couple small pools and lakes where you'll find some waterfowl. And then when you get up to about the 3½ mile mark to Green's Corners, where the trail crosses 105, that part for the next several miles is all tree covered, and that makes a real nice section if it's a real hot day.
Beginning in St. Albans, parking can be found at the intersection of Route 7 and 105.
So to find this parking area, just keep an eye out for the bike up on the pole, drive down the road, which used to be the old railroad, and up ahead a few hundred feet, there is parking.
Here, you'll also find an informational kiosk.
Milepost 0, and it is 26.1 miles all the way up to Richford.
The trail begins by following a long straightaway which climbs gently to a knoll and then glides back down.
And with every trail, there's always a remnant or two. There we have an old tie.
While there, the trilliums were just beginning to bloom. It must be quite a sight when they're fully out.
What you looking at, Aries? Oh, I see, a bench. You'll notice sporadically as you're hiking this trail that there are benches along the way, so if you want to chill out and take a break, feel free.
1 mile from the starting point, I-89 passes overhead. Immediately before that, you'll find a parking area off of Village Drive. You'll also spot a seasonal rest stop. The trail continues, and soon you'll cross Shoreland Road.
As you're hiking along, you'll definitely come to a lot of little road crossings. You just want to make sure if you're going to park at any of them that there's an actual spot to park and you're not blocking somebody's driveway or farm access road.
The trail continues another 1.25 miles before you hit Route 105 again.
So the trail is now getting to a crossing point at Route 105. This is also known as Green's Corner. And if you look over here, there is a parking area. Now this is a somewhat busy intersection, so you'll definitely want to check both ways before crossing. Remember, safety, safety, safety.
Once across 105, you'll see a small cemetery and one of several sign-in boxes this trail has.
As you're hiking along, you'll spot these distance markers every now and again. As you can see, Aries and I are now at 3½ miles.
The trail enters into the woods from here, and soon travels along a wetland. From there, it travels up and around a bend, by a large pond, around a small bend, and across hilltop acres. From there, it travels 3/4 mile before hitting a town line and Sweet Hollow Road.
You can see the town markers on this trail so you know when you cross from one to the next.
The trail parallels Sweet Hollow Road 1.4 miles, crosses over and parallels the other side an additional ½ mile before crossing 105, and Shawville Road in Sheldon Springs.
Something I've noticed about this trail is it's very well marked. Whether you're on the trail and it shows like stop signs there for roads, or if you're on a main road crossing the trail, there are trail crossing signs at every road.
Once again, the trail enters the woods and passes by ponds and farms.
As you get to the 8.5 mile mark, you can look ahead and see the big bridge that crosses over the river.
But before arriving at the bridge, you need to again cross 105 and pass through a dairy farm. Rounding the bend, the full bridge comes into sight.
Hey, Aries. Hi.
Crossing the Missisquoi River, most of this bridge has been standing strong for years.
The third span in it is not the same as the first two. The first two spans are wrought iron, and the third, you can see, has been rebuilt. This is because back in June of 1984, as a freighter crossed over, it derailed and hit the bridge, knocking the side out. It wasn't economically viable to rebuild, so they abandoned the railroad. And here it is, the scene of the accident. Aries is standing right where it happened. Yes, she is. Hi.
After the bridge, you round a small bend and find yourself at Sheldon Junction and the next parking area.
So if you're looking for a trail up in northern Vermont, you could spend anywhere from 1 day to probably 5 days doing the trail. You could do side trails. It's great for doing as adults, couples and whatnot, and it's also good for getting your little kids out. My kids kind of grew up doing sections of the trail, and a lot of the elementary schools get their kids out. Pretty flat trail, follows the railroad grade, and hey, welcome here if you get up here to do the trail. Thank you.